Have you ever wondered how you can incorporate journaling into your life, into your everyday life, and how to even use it in other areas that are important to you in your life? In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you the many ways in which I choose to use journaling and what I share with anybody who cares to ask me about journaling. Part of it forms my morning routine and daily routine and planning routine. So stick around and I'm going to be sharing that with you. This is how I use journaling in my life to basically do anything that needs to be done. I use journaling for healing, I use journaling for thinking, I use journaling for planning, I use journaling for my work and for learning. I have used a lot of journaling prompts as well as journaling modes. One of my favorites being morning pages that I use just a stream of conscious writing that I do every morning, and that helps me to plan my day. I even have on my calendar morning pages and coffee, so that becomes part of my morning routine and it really helps me to just keep focused. Journaling is the one method that I've found to be quite useful when it comes to getting in touch with who I am. I know many people struggle with journaling because of probably historical trauma that came with keeping a diary when a person maybe was young. I have a client that did not want to journal because she was like, what if the people I live with find my journal? So we obviously went deeper into that to figure out what it is that had happened to her, and long story short, it was that somebody found her journal and they read it, and then they used what was in the journal against them to punish them, to shame them, lots of things. And that's what normally happens. Even though your journal is supposed to be something that's so private, people, when they find it, they don't like it, right? So I then had to work with ways for her to use journaling still, because there was a lot that she wanted to process in her life. There was a lot that she wanted to get to grips with. And in the work that I do when I do my coaching, I recommend journaling, really. There's a journal that we use for healing that I give to all my clients, and we need to set the foundation for that journaling. So I realized that, there are so many ways in which we could use journaling, and these are my ways that I use journaling in my life. I use it for progress tracking. I use it to see whether I am doing the things that I said I needed to do, so the tracking of that as well. I use it for my morning journaling, and I also sometimes use it for brain dumping when I want to clear my head at the end of the day and maybe I'm unable to sleep because I have too much going on. So this is how I then decided that I'm going to use journaling every day. If you wanted to start journaling, I would suggest that you start journaling just as if you are talking to yourself. And the mindset around journaling would be to find a method that works for you. All right, so there are different methods that you can use: pen and paper, digital method. So there are so many methods of journaling that you can use. You just need to find one that works for you. And I have a video regarding modes of journaling that you can choose. So look at that and see if there's a mode that you have not thought of and you could try. And if you really want to get into journaling, I always say to people, try a few methods and see what you prefer. When I am working with people in my journaling challenge, where we work on being consistent with their journaling, I get a lot of people telling me that they prefer pen and paper. And pen and paper really is a cathartic method, and it is encouraged. There's something that really happens, as you are writing. But I then found other ways of journaling when I couldn't write. My wrist was broken at some point and I couldn't write. And there was a time when I needed writing the most. So I had to find other ways. I couldn't just not write because my hand was not working. had to find alternatives to that. I tested out a few things that I could do while my hand was literally out of action, and that's when I realized that, oh, maybe there are other means that I could use. So I always say that just test a few things and see. And when people want to be married to one type of journaling and yet it still does not help with their consistency, they want to journal, but because they have put that pen and paper thing as the only way they will journal, and then it doesn't happen because maybe they don't have a journal with them, it really then becomes pointless. So I always say that it's fine, you want pen and paper, let's work with that. If it doesn't work, try other things, see if it works. I had a client recently, I introduced a journaling app to them and they're like, no, I don't want that. I want to do just pen and paper. I feel better when I've done that. And I was like, okay, that's fine, let's do that. And we did that, and then we tracked for a few days and journaling did not happen. And they wanted to journal, right? This is for you if you really want to journal. They really wanted to journal, and a few days later, still nothing happened. I then recommended the app again, and in that time I started to be a little bit more insistent because there were things that we needed to work with for her KPAs in our coaching program, and it was delaying us because now we kept on coming back to the issue of not having a journal. I then suggested the app again, and she was able to keep up with the journaling. So I say that really find something that you will be comfortable with. It's more in alignment with who you are, so that you don't sabotage your own efforts. You are now putting all these obstacles in front of you so that you don't get to do the thing. So remove any of the obstacles that are easily removable. So that's why I always say find what works for you. I have found journaling to be helpful for me, that it helps me with my brainstorming as a solopreneur, and it also helps me with calming me down. When I have a lot happening in my mind, already I'm thinking, right? So journaling just helps with that action part of it. I then would use my journal to just think through, or just to take out the energy or whatever the incident is, and that has helped me quite a lot. So I have used it also a lot for my emotional healing, and the third part that I use it for is for my work, where I use it in the morning with my morning pages to plan my day, and then at the end of the day I then journal back to see if I've achieved the things that I wanted to do, and it helps me to see and keep track. I saw this method when I had a nutritional, a nutritionist, a nutrition coach, I think they're called. I had to do a lot of writing in order for me to be present in our coaching sessions. So try journaling on at least one of your goals and see if that helps. The best thing that you can do for yourself is just to tell the story of what is happening right now. I know people feel that they need prompts, and yeah, you can probably get prompts and answer those questions, but the best question that you can answer, a self-prompt if you will, is how am I feeling about this? And then take it from there. And then if you want more of this is when you can start looking for prompts elsewhere. But if you want specific prompts that will help you to get to the crux of where you want to go, then you can contact people like a coach, where they can help you get to grips with things that you actually want to do. I hope this was helpful. Let me know in the comments if you journal and what has your experience been with journaling. If you want to try this today because you are a person who takes action, watch this video where you can see the modes that I'm talking about in terms of journaling, and then you can choose which one suits you the best. And once you've done, let me know, leave me a comment in that video to tell me how that went. That's it from me. I will see you in the next